Hello, class. So this is my second weekly structured interaction with you. Happens every week, and the second interaction, I show you a recent or usually recent. It depends on how you define recent, but I mean something going on in the world of science and science loosely. Usually, it's chemistry. I mean, this is a chemistry class, but I've been known to dabble in various sciences as well. The chemistry is pretty broad because chemistry is study of matter, and that has a lot of broad implications. But back to the communications, the first communication in the week, it's going to be the due dates, things that are due for the upcoming week. And the second communication is this one. It's kind of a recent article about stuff that's going on in the world of science and chemistry. And also you have to respond to it and reply to your peers as part of your participation in the class. And it's also ungraded, but it's part of the structured content. You don't have to do it this week. You're welcome to do it if you'd like, but you have the meet and greet forum, and that's structured already and shown in your there and with your whatever with. It's already shown, and it's also with your participation. So you don't have to do it this week, but I am going to talk about it anyways. And talk about, something new and exciting in the world of science. And in this one, he talks about the signs of life and reading through the meet and greet forum. Many of you are nursing majors, and which makes sense. This is a nursing prerequisite class, and you're familiar with life. And so we're going to talk about life outside of the Earth. And so we're looking for life outside of the Earth, and also we're one of the tools we're using is the James Webb Space Telescope. So the James Webb Space Telescope, if you're not familiar with it, it's an infrared space telescope. We have two civilian space telescopes right now. We have the Hubble, and that's a visible telescope, and then we have the James Webb, and it uses infrared, so less than red. And so it's invisible to us, but we can use that to look for various things and that we can't see in the visible spectrum. And this is also near and dear to me because my wife works for the James Webb Space Telescope. So it's interesting there. And so they're looking for life, and they may have found one, and this is not, smoking gun yet per se. They found dimethyl sulfide. And they found it in this exoplanet K2-18b. And exoplanet means outside of the solar system. So we have 8, maybe 9. It's debatable. I don't know where we're at with the 9th planet yet. But we have the 9 planets in the solar system. And then these exoplanets, these are planets orbiting other stars. And so we found this one here. Also, in our own solar system, we found phosphine gas on Venus. So that may be an indicator of life. We're not entirely sure. The thing with Venus, though, is it's so hot. You could have some sort of exotic life there, but it's interesting to see where this goes. Well, I guess up in the upper clouds. But Venus is so close to the sun. It's much closer than the Earth. The average temperature there without the greenhouse effect is going to be positive 100 degrees Celsius. So it's pretty hot. Of course, with the greenhouse effect, Venus is much, much hotter than that. But we're looking for life at other places in our solar system, and some of the things like just hydrocarbons, for instance. There's plenty of hydrocarbons in the gas giant planets in the solar system, but we don't really think there's life there. We are looking for other places like in Europa. It's a moon of Jupiter. We're thinking that there might be life there. What they're really looking for, what would be the absolute smoking gun for life on other planets would be a thick oxygen atmosphere. And it mentions these. So include chlorofluorocarbons and molecular oxygen, specifically O2, diatomic oxygen. And of course, the Earth has 20.5% oxygen in our atmosphere. And if you look at Mercury, the planet Mercury, the atmosphere of that planet is around 35% oxygen. Is there life on Mercury? Not that we know of. The atmosphere is 35% oxygen, but it's also very thin. And it's the reason why there's oxygen on Mercury is because the sun is cooking it. So, and that's releasing oxygen just from the heat from the sun and just from the rocks. And there's probably not life on Mercury. But there's definitely life here on Earth. And if we find a planet that has a huge amount of molecular oxygen, that's a pretty sure sign there's life there. There are a few possibilities that there's not life. I went to a talk about this. There was an astronomer talking about the star. If you're familiar with Star Wars, the planet Jakku and Tatooine in Star Wars, those could be like an atmosphere of oxygen. A planet like that could happen from solar radiation and water and stellar, I should say, not necessarily our sun, but stellar radiation and oxygen and water could crack water to form diatomic oxygen, and the hydrogen could, if it's a weak enough gravity, then the hydrogen could escape through the planet's atmosphere. That's a possibility. But here on Earth, though, that's not predominantly where we get our oxygen from. We get our oxygen from our life, specifically plankton. So not plankton. Part of it, algae. Algae is phytoplankton. Algae is where we get most of our oxygen from. People say trees are what produce oxygen. Trees do produce oxygen, but that's not where the majority of oxygen comes from. It comes from algae. So that's really what rules the planet is algae. I mean, we think we humans are tough, but the predominant life here is microorganisms, and specifically algae is what makes the biggest impact on our planet. So, but I hope you enjoy the article, and if you feel up to it, you don't have to this week. You can take a breather and work on and setting up your homework and other stuff. But if you want same rules, like apply for here, use netiquette and be polite, and it's interesting. I hope you enjoy the article, and if you choose to say some interesting things or reply to some interesting things that people talk about. Also, with all my emails, I want to remind students the importance of things outside of chemistry. So, namely, basic needs, and basic needs are usually surprisingly easy to take care of, especially food. Housing is a little more difficult, but if you find yourself lacking basic needs, feel free to reach out to me. I do what I can to help. And of course, it's a symbiotic relationship, right? I want you to do well. You want yourself to do well, and you can't do well if you're hungry and you don't have shelter. That's if you know Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you cannot. You're going to be focused on survival. So if you find yourself in that predicament, please let me know. Also with mental health, and my students have they appreciate that I talk about this. Look after yourselves. Our brains are here to keep us alive. They're not here to keep us happy. And if you look at the data for mental health, especially, I'm a millennial, but the Gen Alpha and are finding, or I guess Gen Z and Gen Alpha. I guess you guys are more Gen Z, but the data, also including my generation, the data, especially for depression, anxiety is really high. So if you find yourself dealing with some crippling mental health issues, please feel free to reach out to me, and I'll do what I can to help. And unfortunately, in those circumstances, I kind of nudge you to help, and then the students end up going in kind of information black hole for me, because of HIPAA laws, right? So because it's not I'm not privy to medical things, and that's considered medical. I'm privy to academic issues, because I'm a faculty member, but I'm not in the circle of trust, as they say, to health and mental health. So, but I mean, if there are some issues, please let me know, and you don't even have to disclose what it is. I mean, you don't have to disclose anything really that you want. If you just say, hey, I need help with blank and blank, and I'll be okay. So we'll figure it out. So if you feel that way, please feel free to reach out. and I will do what I can to help. And hopefully you stay happy. And like I say, if you need anything, let me know. And I'm sorry I went a little longer this time. I'll try and keep it shorter as far as my videos, so you don't have to listen to me so much. So have a nice rest of your week and weekend, and I will talk to you later. Aloha.